Korir so that we can proceed. Use your mic. Use your mic. Use your mic. Eh? It's only one.
Indeed, it is Jonathan Korir.
All right, thank you. I guess the reason why we give to Naruto, as you know, is I have seen Jonathan Korir, with due respect, is your age set, and that is very good. So Jonathan, you are welcome. Before you is the appointment committee, and I know that probably you are aware of the reason why you are here. You are welcome. We sincerely apologize for keeping you, and we hope that you have forgiven us because we delayed a bit. You were supposed to start, I think, at around 2 or 2:30, but because of other issues, unavoidable circumstances, we pushed it up a bit up to 4:30. So you are most welcome. Nevertheless, we are going to introduce ourselves, and I'll start from my far right, the members of the appointment committee. And if you have any interests in regards to this nominee, you declare your interest.
Thank you so much, Chairman. My name is Francis Terer, representing the great people of Chebuinot, a member of this committee.
Thank you, Chair. I'm Chukian Sisiele, representing Waldaiwa. Welcome, Nominee.
Thank you, Chairman. I'm Anthony Ruto, MCA Kipkemoi, member of this committee.
Thank you, Chairman. My name is Vincent Korir. I represent the great people of Londiani, and I'm a member of this committee. Thank you.
I am David Maritim, MCA Kipkemoi, a member of this committee. Thank you, Chairman. My name is Teacher Ogon. I'm a member of County Assembly representing CECM, and I think it is good for me to declare interest. The Honorable Chairman, the nominee comes from my sub-county, is a very close friend of mine, and he's somebody we've worked for a long time, but then that does not affect our role today during the vetting exercise.
Okay, thank you, the Honorable Ogon, for that. Just for the purpose of record is that we have other members of this committee who will be joining us as we continue, and they shall introduce themselves at that time. So, Secretariat, introduce yourself.
I'm Sharon Mibe, Deputy Clerk Legislative.
My name is Billy Cheriot, Clerk.
Meanwhile, Jonathan, as you settle, along with you. And the ID is here, so you will you can take it back to Jonathan. So Jonathan, welcome. Number one to the County Assembly of Kericho, and also you are before the Appointments Committee, as I earlier mentioned. Myself, I'm Dr. Patrick Mutai. I'm the Chairman, Appointment Committee, as well as the Speaker of the County Assembly of Kericho. So let me take this opportunity first to congratulate you for being nominated to the position of CC Public Service Management. I want to believe that you were given enough notice to be here, and you are prepared for this engagement or interaction with us. This is, you are here because Governor sent your name to be vetted for the position of CC Public Service Management. And that means you are lucky among the many people of these creations, and now you can relate it to the job that you have been nominated to. You may not, you may note it down so that you do it. Of course, the basics that you know, who is Jonathan, where does he come from, the work experience, and you relate it to the position that you have been nominated. That is very critical. Secondly, is also the educational background. Again, you may relate it to the position you have been nominated to. You may also mention professionals associations, which you are a member, or any membership. If you are a member of any organization, you also tell us during your introduction whether you have ever held public office before, or political office, or any affiliation. We also expect you, as you introduce yourself, to touch on the matter of donations to charity. That is charity work, pro bono services, if any. As you introduce yourself also, you will tell us, maybe during your educational introduction, you can tell us whether you have any published writings, that is in form of titles, books, articles, theses, if any. Yes, maybe perhaps you can tackle that form of introduction, and then from our vetting criteria or vetting tool, we will be able to pick the issues that you may not have touched, and I will take you through. But take your time as you introduce yourself. Take your time as you introduce yourself. So welcome, Jonathan. Start when you are ready.
Honorable Chair, honorable members, allow me to thank you most sincerely for giving me this opportunity to appear before you this afternoon. I will also extend the same thanks to His Excellency the Governor for the nomination is given to me for the position of CEC Public Service Management. My name is Jonathan Kipkemoi Korir. A trained public administrator. I'm married with one wife and 3 adults, 2 sons and a daughter. I attended Kaitui Primary School way back in 1970 to 1976 before proceeding to Kagebe High School in 1977 to 1980. After my O-level, and considering the grade I got, there were limited chances to proceed to Kenyan universities. So I approached the Ministry of Education headquarters, and there were chances for partial scholarship in India that time. In India, there are quite a number of universities. The state universities are over 459. So you can compare with what we had in Kenya at that time. There were only 2 universities. So I succeeded. I got a chance to go and pursue a degree course in India, in Punjab University, Bachelor of Arts in Public Administration. That was in 1984. I graduated in 1987, and because of that partial scholarship which was still existing, I decided to carry on with my master's degree in the same field, public administration, where I graduated in 1989. I came back to Kenya in 1989, July, and placed in an application for employment with the Public Service Commission. And in November, we were called for an interview, and December, it came out to be successful, where I was picked as a registrar 3 and posted to the office of the president. Earlier on, around the same time, I had placed in an application with the then Kenya Post and Telecommunication Corporation for the position of personnel officer. And after a lot of soul searching, considering so many things, I decided to settle down for the position of personnel officer 2 with the then Kenya Post and Telecommunication Corporation, where I was deployed to Nairobi Central Division with offices in City Square Post Office. Among the duties I was to discharge as a personnel officer to war administration. And under administration, those are areas like transfers, posting, deployment, redesignation, staff appraisal for the purpose of promotion. I was also handling welfare matters, that is industrial and welfare. We had a robust medical scheme, and under welfare, there were quite a lot of work to be undertaken in terms of medical refunds, expenditures. So I was also charged with the responsibility of handling that department. Of course, I worked under a number of other senior officers because I was still a trainee. There was also the area of discipline, which was supposed to be handled by a personnel officer. So we were supposed to go around all those areas, and I worked under competent officers, where I gained a lot of experience. I was there for a period of from 1990 to 1993. Then I was, in 1994, I was identified for a promotion, where I was appointed as a senior personnel officer. There was a new division which was supposed to be created, which was to be called South Rift, which is based here in Kericho, because we had an HR office in Eldoret and another HR office in Nakuru. So because of the vastness of the area, South Rift was supposed to be given a division. Together for the lower part of Nakuru, that is the Lenguruane area, Kirenget, and then Kericho now, Bomet, and Narok, with a staff population of 800 employees. So the offices were situated here in Kericho, Koine Plaza. That is where I was based. And while in Nairobi, I was handling a population of course, we were quite a number of other senior officers, and we were handling a population of 5,000 employees in Nairobi Central. So here, I was charged with the responsibility of handling the 800 staff, mainly on the areas I have mentioned before. That is administration, discipline, industrial relations and welfare matters. And I was here up to 1999, when I was again identified for promotion and posted. I was appointed as an assistant manager, human resource, an equivalent position of principal personnel officer in the mainstream civil service. I was posted to Nyanza, which was now the provincial headquarters. And the staff population there were was around 2,500. So the same duties also I was handling, and I was the head now. When I was in Kericho, I was the head of HR. Kisumu, I was the head of HR. Of course, with that designation I've given you. So I was there for 4 years, and another exercise came up in Nairobi, where it was realized that the performance of the employees then had gone down, and we were supposed to see what can be done about that. So I was taken to Nairobi on transfer on the same grade to go and carry out training need analysis to see whether it was because of lack of training, refresher courses, and all that. So I was charged with the responsibility of carrying out the training need analysis for over 26,000 employees of Kenya Post and Telecommunication that time. And we did that for a period of 6 months, and we came up with the recommendations which were supposed to be effected. We realized most officers were well trained, but they only required some customer skills. So we came up with the decision to engage the Institute of Customer Care, which was Customer Care Services, which had consultants and experts on how to bring on board a motivated workforce. So we agreed, because we could not train all the 26,000 staff at a go. So we agreed they could move to the divisions and maybe give a seminar of 2 days or so, because we didn't want to have a standstill of the work which was going on. So we realized it was very effective. They only required some tips on how to motivate our employees to be able to deliver in their mandates. So after the 6 months, I was taken back to the region because there was a vacancy which arose in Machakos, that is the Southern Division. So I was transferred because I had cleared the exercise alongside my other secretariat staff. So I was posted to Southern Division, which is Machakos headquartered. The three areas, the three counties, that is Makueni, Kitui, and Machakos. That time it was Kitui district, Machakos, Makueni, and Mwingi. So I was there for 2 years before I was brought back to headquarters to discharge another exercise which came up as a result of what was cropping up in the corporation. There was supposed to be a retrenchment exercise, and a few issues had to be sorted out. The sponsor, the World Bank and the IMF, wanted to restructure the company, and they wanted to have it in place, quite a number of things, to be compliant before the shares could be sold out. So we were to look into a few issues touching on health, safety, and the environment within the workstations. So we were to move around the country, identifying weak areas in our workstations and putting corrective measures. So we carried out the exercise for close to 1 year, and as I have told you, there was looming restructuring in the company, and having been in HR, we had been prepared to accept, because it was either we accept or we go down with the corporation or the company for that matter. So we were told we were to opt for early retirement, which we willingly accepted. And in November 2007, I took up the opportunity and we were retrenched We were paid very well. So we thank the corporation for that. So we came home. I was home until 2009. I succeeded in getting another assignment for 3 months with the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics for the census, the national census. I was appointed as a senior supervisor, and we carried out the exercise very well. There were minimal complaints, and immediately after that, I went back to what I was doing, that is farming. In the year 2012, I tried venturing into politics, but I realized it was not easy. And I had to accept it. Because
which seat was that?
Member of County Assembly, Soliat.
Oh.
So I lost by a margin of 180 votes. So I accepted, and life had to continue. Shortly, there were oppositions following the creation of the counties, the county governments. There were positions for ward administrators, 2014. So I applied, and I was successfully identified by the County Public Service Board and picked for ward administrator position, where I was deployed to Cheblanget for a start. So I was in Cheblanget for 2 years. While in Cheblanget, I made sure they had an office, because I was in Trita Moita grounds where there was no office at all. Luckily enough, the MCA allowed me to share the office with the staff, the MCA's office staff. So we were there for 2 years, but I pressurized our headquarters, and they accepted to build an office. Currently, there is an office in Cheblanget. I was then moved to, come 2017, all ward administrators were to revert back to their home wards. So I was taken back to Soliat for 1 year, and 2018, I was then again transferred to Litain ward, where I stayed for 2 years. Of course, I managed to handle the challenges associated with Litain area, because it's a growing town with a lot of challenges in form of drainages, the congestion which is there, and we managed to contain the situation. In 2020, I was transferred to Soin ward, where there was a vacancy. And up to 2021 is when I retired at the age of 60. Honorable Chair, honorable members, while in the 2 sub-counties, that is Bureti and Soin, in Bureti I had the advantage of acting sub-county administrator for a period of about 3 years, for a period of about 3 months. Likewise to Sigawet, Soin. I covered the duties of sub-county administrator in Bureti when there was a vacancy, and I successfully discharged my duties. In Sigawet, Soin, the officer was there, had proceeded on leave for 2 months. I acted and I coordinated the functions of the ward administrators appropriately. Honorable Chair, I believe I can relate all that to the duties I've been called upon to discharge. Being PSM, we were directly answerable to PSM headquarters. Therefore, I know what goes around in those offices, and I believe I have the experience and the knowledge to coordinate the two main sections, that is human resource, having worked in telecom as a human resource officer, and as an administrator, in administration, having worked as a ward administrator. Of course, I know there are quite a number of challenges, but I want to assure this committee, given a chance, if appointed, I will discharge my duties to bring the desired change in the two main sections, that is human resource and the administration. Of course, there are those other sections, that is disaster management and special programs and enforcement and inspectorate. I know what goes around in those offices, and if appointed, if approved, I'll prove that I can do what is required to bring the performance of those offices to the required standard.
Fair enough, you have introduced yourself, Jonathan, and I almost forgot that we served the same regime with Jonathan, honorable members, when I was the CEC finance in the regime of our former first governor, Professor Paul Kipkemoi, but that doesn't mean that it will affect what we are doing this afternoon or this evening. Jonathan, you have introduced yourself comprehensively. Maybe just to highlight on some of the areas that we expected you to touch. I'll ask you in form of questions so that we proceed swiftly. One is whether during your time being employed in all the various opportunities that you have had, whether you have ever received any honor or awards or any scholarship that you, or any honoraria society membership, if any, whether you have had that before in your previous workstations, whether you have received any. You can respond that maybe in form of question, so that we move on. Is it yes or no? If yes, you can expound.
Honorable Chair, in form of written communications, like when I was serving in telecom, there was an exercise we carried out, and I did it very successfully. That was job evaluation. So I was given a commendation letter, which is associated in the records.
Okay.
Likewise, when I was in the county government, I was also appointed to sit in a committee to look into the issues of the defunct employees.
Okay.
There were about 400 who were observed by the county government, especially the administrative officers. They have been having challenges, so we were to look into their issues to address the scheme of service for administrative officers. So I was given a letter by the county secretary also.
Okay. So are you a member of any professional association?
No.
Okay. The other one is, are you a member of, have you ever held a position, any position in a political party or election committee?
No, Honorable Chair.
Have you ever been dismissed or otherwise removed from office for contravention of provision of Article 75 of the Constitution?
No, Honorable Chair.
Have you ever been adversely associated with practices that depict bias, favorism, nepotism in the discharge of your public duties?
None, Honorable Chair.
Jonathan, what is your financial net worth estimates. I know you are a government officer and you know you are a government officer and you know that. So maybe you can tell us the current financial net worth.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I want to round it to 8.6 million, 6 million being a portion of land, 2, the house are constructed in that portion of land, 300,000 for sugarcane plantation, which is there, 300, another 300 for dairy cows. So 8.6.
Okay, you don't own a car?
I don't.
Oh, okay.
I sold. I used to have, but I sold.
All right. So I hope you know why such a question always is being asked, because you have seen in the recent past, even the executive that you are joining, there have been allegations that some of them came with bicycles, like you don't have a car, and they are now owning big vehicles and are having big houses and even apartments outside this county. That is the report that was given or shared to us by the Ethics and Anti-Corruption. But I'm not saying that you should not work hard and own a big house or own a big car. You know how government operates, so it's important that as you must justify, of course, your wealth in government. So, as we go forward, should you be nominated, of course, should you be approved, of course, you will be expected every 2 years. You will submit your wealth declaration form. The other thing that I wanted to ask you is whether you have participated in any form of charity work, donations to charity, or any contributions, and even time that you have devoted to such charity works or offering pro bono services, if any, or community work for that matter.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, Honorable Members. Since 1984, I've been involved in those charitable work, having been a chairman of a local primary school. Those days from 1994, we used to organize Arambes to construct those institutions. I was the chairman of Kipkemoi Primary School, and I ensured it developed. So we used to organize for Arambes, and I was, of course, leading from the front.
Okay.
That was 1994 to 1996. In 1996, we decided to initiate another primary school within the same vicinity, that is Kipkemoi, called Kipkemoi Primary School, because of the vastness of the area. So I was spearheading the construction of that new school. And I was there from 1996 to 2003, when I was still within reach. I was still in Kisumu.
Right.
So I used to invite friends, and of course I was leading from the front in the contribution. So we built, the school is fully equipped. I was also in the BOM of Kaitui Secondary School. Once in a while, we could organize as the board members to buy few items like the laptops or the computers for the school.
Okay.
Currently, I'm in charge, or rather, I'm a treasurer and head of a project committee in a church in Kipkemoi. I've even been inviting some members, of course, through my MCA. We've been contributing for the construction of that church. So I'm the treasurer and the head. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I think that is sufficient. And it is good to note that you are a member of our church. And I hope that you are born again. Well, let's proceed. Jonathan, now you are here with us. will you have any objection if we make inquiries with your former employer in the course of considering this nomination?
Not at all, Banachi.
All right, thank you. The other thing is maybe in the course of your studies, work and everything, if you have any published materials, that's published writings, be it in a form of a book, journal, thesis, do you have anything?
Not there.
Okay. Now, the other thing is about potential conflicts of interest. Aware that this position now, should you be appointed, is a position of public interest. Just to ask you whether you foresee at some point in time you may have conflicts of interest, those potential conflict of interest, and if such cases will arise during your work, what will you do, Jonathan?
I don't foresee any conflict of interest, and if it came up, if it arose, I'll of course declare. Yeah.
Okay. The other thing is, have you ever been charged in a court of law in the last 3 years?
No.
The almost final one is, have you ever been adversely mentioned in an investigatory report of Parliament or County Assembly or any other commission of inquiry in the last 3 years?
Honorable Chair, no.
Okay. So I think we are done. Honorable members, we are done with our vetting tool, as I know you have followed me keenly. And before I open the floor, I will just ask one question. I'll actually ask you 2 questions. Now that, Jonathan, you have been, before you retired in 2021, you did mention, of course, and we know, we have seen it from your CV. Personally, I know that you are ward administrator, and you know very well that devolution, the object of devolution was actually devolving power and resources to the lowest level. In your own opinion, do you think, as the county government of Kericho, and I want to specifically highlight on whether we have devolved that power, now that you will be in charge of PSM, if you are appointed, the power in form of the war, does the sub-county, ward level, village level functioning optimally as per as the way the Constitution of Kenya 2010 envisioned? Maybe you can just share with us. If not, or if yes, it's okay. If not, then maybe what are your proposals?
Thank you.
Lastly, so that you handle the 2 at once, is the aspect of a wage bill. As you know, there are regulations approved by this county assembly on matters of wage bill. The same also has been prescribed or entrenched in the Public Financial Management Act, as well as subsequent regulations of 2015, which talks about the wage bill not exceeding 35% of the total revenues. As we speak now, Jonathan, just to bring you to speed, is that our wage bill is high, more than, it's almost 50%, and at the same time, we are still grappling with shortage of staff. Maybe you will tell us how you will balance the two, between the two. This is the wage bill which has gone up, which we are already contravening the legislations that are there. And secondly, we still need some staff in some other departments that they have shortage, like the revenues, even health sector. I know you are alive to that fact. And maybe in line with that, mention or talk about ghost workers. Of course, I'm not saying that there are ghost workers, I cannot confirm, but also there have been allegations that there have been ghost workers in various departments, more so those who have been either seconded in the sub-county level or ward level. So maybe you can answer those two. Just the issue of devolution power and the aspect of wage bill tying with what I have just mentioned. And then I will open the floor for the other members to ask you the questions.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, honorable members. On the issue of whether we have devolved fully, the answer is no, Honorable Chair. So far, based on what we have on the ground, like the ward administrators, they are not been enough, because there are those who have been brought to headquarters. So currently, we have a shortfall of about 10. Instead of 30, I think we have 20. So you realize there are certain areas or certain wards without ward administrators. We have also not hired, as per the constitution, the village administrators or the village managers who are supposed to be there, because we can only be effective and especially in passing government policies when we have these people on the ground. Compared to the national government, with the national government, you realize they are far much ahead of us. They have village elders, they have the assistant chiefs, they have the chiefs. But in our case, we were supposed to go up to the village administrators, which we have not done so. And this has been as a result of the challenges you've also highlighted, that is the finances bit of it. But if we could raise, because I want to tie with the question you talked about the wage bill, if we could raise the revenues, we should be able to bring on board, because they are very necessary, Honorable Chair. We need to have them in place. So I think we should sit down, if approved, with the relevant officers and see how we can motivate our workforce to produce, especially those who are in revenue, the enforcement officers, to be made aware that we are surviving on the revenue we are going to generate. This will definitely allow us, or allow the county government to engage more staff. Another issue is we can multitask. Those who are there can double up for other duties for the time being, as we address the issue of wage bill. On the issue of ghost workers, I was talking to the office last week, and I was told there is an audit going on, and should they come up.
You have explained it well. I now want to open the floor to, you have explained it well. I now want to open the floor to the members present here. I'll start with Honorable Anthony Ruto, and then I'll give it to Honorable Vincent, and then Honorable Julia Siele, and Honorable Francis Terer, in that order. If we can have at least 2 questions, then, but if you have one, the better. The better for us. So you will not down,
Yeah.
and then you will answer all of them at once. I'll request that when you will be answering, don't skip it. So members, let us be brief, as we also expect Jonathan to be brief while responding to the issues raised.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. First, let me take this opportunity, Mr. Korir, to congratulate you for having been nominated as the CEC in charge of PSM. When you were telling us about yourself, in fact, we have discovered that you have a vast and rich experience as far as public administration is concerned. Congratulations. Mr. Korir, just to reinforce what the Honorable Chair has asked you, if really devolution has been felt at the grassroots level, you have tried. But as we are all aware, the original objective of devolution is to take services close to an inch at the village level. But as we are speaking, devolution is not even felt in our sub-counties. Do you know the reason that our offices, sub-county offices or district headquarters before devolution, they used to be very active. A lot of activities were taking place. Immediately after devolution, the activities which we used to see before devolution are no longer there, especially the devolved ministries. Go even to the sub-county office, which is headed by sub-county administrators. There are no activities. All the activities are being done at the county headquarters. In fact, the sub-county administrators are always idle. The same thing applies to ward administrators. In fact, they are totally misplaced. Mr. Korir, if in any case you are given this chance, what mechanisms are you going to put in place to see to it that devolution achieves its original objectives? The last Honorable Chair, Mr. Korir, human resource is key as far as service delivery is concerned. You have already mentioned about motivation of staff or performance of the employees. According to our experience, there is a lot of laxity among our employees in Kericho. If in any case you are given this chance, what mitigation measures are you going to put in place so that at the end of the day, our employees are highly motivated, so that at the end of the day, they can be able to deliver? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, the Honorable Vincent Korir.
Thank you very much, Chair. Congratulations, Mr. Jonathan, for getting this chance to be appointed. I wish you well. Mine is brief, but I will ask you direct questions so that you can be able to answer. I know you understand about the Chebwagan youths who are trained and are well equipped to work, but they have never been employed anywhere, maybe few of them. And again, they were never recognized by being given maybe certificates. Again, since fire station falls within PSM, kindly tell us something that you will do. What will you do so that we can avoid fires destroying our centers and even houses? in sub-counties. There is the issue of village elders. Yesterday I was in a function and they were saying in Bomet, the village elders are getting something as an allowance to motivate them. Is it possible? What is the reality on this other side? Is it can they qualify to also get maybe allowance to motivate them as village elders? Again, maybe touch on the organogram that maybe you can propose for effectiveness in administration and management of and even the devolution and management, so that the political wing and the administration can work harmoniously. Thank you.
All right, the Honorable Julius Sile.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. For Korir, from the except you have a lot of experience in the field, but my question is concerning the unrest in the health sector, concerning the salaries. What could be the remedy to this? Thank you.
Okay. The Honorable Francis Terry.
Thank you so much, Chairman, for giving me this opportunity to welcome Mr. Korir. Mr. Korir, as a senior public administrator, you have worked for a long time. And you have retired from various positions within various departments. What new ideas will you bring to the Department of PSM if given a chance? Thank you.
Yes, now the Honorable Jonathan, you will respond to those first set of questions, and you can be brief as much as possible. All right.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. To start with, bringing services closer to the lowest level, I will accept that there is still a challenge. This touches down on the issue of facilitation. Having been a ward administrator, I remember when I was in Cheblanget without an office, borrowing accommodation. You can imagine that frustration one has to undergo. Of course, I struggled, and currently there is an office which is accommodating all the departments, all the devolved units in Cheblanget ward. That one alone motivates the ward administrator to settle down and be with the people every other time, because we all accept that it is very key to pass information accordingly, promptly, so that when I get to know what is required or what is in stake for them. So that challenge has been there. There is the issue of commuting, that is a transport. So I'll propose we continue building offices for the ward administrators, because once you have an office, a ward office, the ward administrator will not escape to be there, because that ties him down to be with the people every other time. Facilitating also in terms of transport. For a start, I know there is this challenge of finances. You cannot buy vehicles for all of them. But for a start, we can make sure we have in each sub-county to be shared. Like if we had a vehicle in each sub-county, not always the ward administrators are going out, so they can share. So that one, if it means buying one per every financial year, if approved, I'll ensure we do that. That will motivate staff, especially the field staff, the ward administrators. Because I remember during the last regime, where you are expected as a ward administrator to reach a station using a boda was very difficult. So those are the avenues I'll explore, if it means buying one every financial year, so that at the end of it, if we were to start from day one, we would be having so many official vehicles by now. So for a start, I'll ensure we have an official motor vehicle in every sub-county to be shared. In that way, it will facilitate these people to reach the lowest level. On the issue of HR, I accept totally that there seems to be laxity, and this reflects from the complaints we get from the outside clients, because HR office is supposed to be serving our internal staff, and they are supposed to be going there for their welfare issues to be sorted out. And if they are not addressed accordingly, you realize they'll be demotivated and they'll not be producing when they are in their workstation. So I will take up the challenge, if approved, to sit them down and tell them to understand and appreciate that they are there because of what we are getting from the other staff. A very good example is the revenue staff, like when they approach HR office for an issue to be sorted out, and they are kept waiting for maybe 2-3 days. In that way, they'll not be able to concentrate and raise the revenue. Likewise to the enforcement officers, if their issues are not attended to, they'll vent that anger on the members of the public, so that you realize every other time, like when we are in town, they clash with the members of the public because of that frustration. But if they were made to be happy, they'll operate in a manner which shows they are owning the county government. On the issue of Chebwagan youths, who have also been observed as the enforcement officers, we all know and appreciate that there is that challenge of finances, but I want to appreciate the few who have been taken to assist in enforcement, and it bounces back to, if we are to raise our revenue, then we'll still move and continue bringing on board, because those are our brothers and sisters. We should not keep them out in the cold for all that time. It has taken long, but I want to appreciate the step which was taken, though they have not been made permanent. But at least there is that step. The others who are still out are still hopeful. So if funds could be raised, or if revenue was raised, then I'm sure they will be the first to be considered. The issue of the fire engines, if we could establish, and there was, when I left the county government in 2021, there is one which is supposed to come up in Litein, and the intention was to have in every sub-county headquarters, especially the populated areas. Like we don't expect a vehicle to move from town all the way to Kipkemoi. If we could be having one in Socio, then it's or to Sondo for that matter. If we could be having one in Socio, it can cover Sondo area and Kipkemoi. So if approved, I'll explore the possibilities. If it even means partnering, to have, because we realize we've been getting assistance from the tea estates, fire engines, to have in every main center, that is, for a start, the sub-county offices, to be able to reach these prone areas, disaster-prone areas. On the issue of organogram, I remember there is one already in place. Maybe when I come, they've approved, is to follow up and make sure it is operationalized. The issue of village elders, I don't know whether you are the member talked to of the village administrators or the village elders. The village elders who are currently under the national government.
Feeling that maybe in other counties like Bomet,
Thank you.
the same village elders have a structure downwards to the people, because you cannot say the people belong to national government. They all belong to both county and national.
Thank you, one Chairman and Honorable Member. This one is possible, especially when it comes to motivation. We are, in fact, like when I was in Cheblanget, I used to be assisted so much by the village elder, the national government, the village elders. And they were cooperative. They knew what they were doing. I could get information when I was in Soliat, what is going on in Cheblanget, and I would even brief headquarters based on that. So I would, if approved, Honorable Chair, I'll explore the possibilities of even motivating them. Of course, like if the administrator, the ward administrator, is creative enough, he can even use what he's entitled to have. Because one, of course, through the chair, what I know, of course they cannot be paid because they are considered to be national representative, national government representative. But I was talking of motivation, where if this ward administrator or the sub-county administrator is creative, is fully facilitated, he can sacrifice some of it because they don't require much. Like when I was there, I used to give them airtime from my pocket, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, I was trying to explain that when I come in, if approved, I'll put in place measures to fully facilitate, because as I explained earlier, I know they are not facilitated at all, not even airtime. So like what I was saying, I was using from my pocket. But there is that entitlement. They are supposed to be given airtime allowance. They are supposed to be given transport allowance. Out of this, there is no harm. Sacrificing for a village elder, we used to even have divers where people used to drown in our area. And they used to come to headquarters, and because of that mode of payment where they cannot be paid directly, the office used to make arrangements for their motivation out of pocket.
Because the chair is busy, you have not convinced us. Do you know the number of village managers? A big number of village managers. That one cannot be possible. Mr. Korir.
I want to refer to Jeplanget. I used to have 89 of them, village elders. Then I used to facilitate on airtime, facilitate the ward administrators, the sub-county administrators. Another issue is to bring on board the village administrators. From then, because they come from those local areas, the village administrators are supposed to be employed based on that locality. Then the issue will be sorted out because they will be on the ground. So the issue bounces back to revenue generation. If we could generate revenue, then we bring on board the village administrators and the issue will be sorted out. Thank you.
Okay. So, okay.
Yeah. So the issue of strikes bringing on board. So I want to make them understand that if approved by a chairman, I want to lead by example by following the laid down procedures, and all our issues will be sorted out. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
All right, thank you. You have exhausted everything?
Yeah.
All right. Then the Honorable Marit.
No, PSM has its own challenges. Sorry. I know PSM has its own challenges. What are your top priorities, if approved by this committee, to make this docket vibrant and relevant? Number two, what are your visions to this docket? Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman, Jonathan Korir, I've actually seen your CV, and you explained when you introduced yourself, you have an extensive experience in the docket you've been nominated to, and you served in the same department before you retired in 2021. You talked about you acted as a sub-county administrator in 2021, even in Bureti and in Sigawet. Now, my question is, in this county, I don't think we have a substantive sub-county administrators, even the ward administrators. For instance, in Sigawet, the current sub-county administrator is on an acting capacity. He is in charge of 2 wards, Sigawet and Kablil are that ward. Same case in Soin. We have the ward administrator, Ada, who is serving in Soliat, acting Soin. And that is the trend in almost all the sub-counties. The point I'm making is, this particular department has not even advertised to fill those positions. And as the member said before, this is a critical person who is supposed to represent the governor in that particular ward or in that particular sub-county. I want you to convince this committee what you intend to do to ensure most of those positions are filled. The last time we voted one nominee who was nominated to head this docket promised that within the shortest time, replacement was going to happen. It never happened until he was fired. Even the first one, he never even attempted to put an advert. And we are simply saying, we have that budget because these people were there. When you retired, there was a budget. You know you were earning salary. And when you left, like B, who was appointed administrator in charge of CECM, when he retired, that position has never been filled. So it will not even affect the way it's been because already that money is there. I want you to tell this committee what it is. And because we will be following it up as part of our oversight role.
Maybe you can take a third one from me. And this is on the aspect of mitigation in relation to the disasters that we have. Mainly, we have noticed in the recent past there have been upsurge in fire incidences. And you know, Jonathan, you are part of the gym before. I don't know what will be your take on this, given even that you are a resident of Kericho County and you know the challenges that we have had as a county. You can respond to those three, and then yes. National Whip, Vice Whip, do you have anything? I can see you are smiling. So I'll give it to you after this. Okay, Jonathan, you can respond to those 3 or 4.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, honorable members. Honorable member talked of the issue of PSM having challenges. That one I totally agree, because like what has been pointed out, we have not fully streamlined what is supposed to be there. You realize we are supposed to be having a full house sub-county administrators, full house ward administrators. So to answer your question, I would take it up with the, and especially with the support of this assembly. I would want to say I have all the information, the missing gaps, and with the support, I'll be able to address all those areas so that we have a seamless PSM. Especially the 2 main units, that is human resource and administration. I'll lead by example. I'll make them understand what they are supposed to do, where they are supposed to be at what time, and for sure we will achieve. So I want to tie it with what honorable member from Sigawet talked about, the issue of the unfilled positions of the sub-county administrators. I think currently, I believe, if I'm not wrong, I stand guided, we have 4 against 6. The 2 which are supposed to be filled, I'm sure there is no reason at all why, unless there are interests, because it's the way the member, honorable member has said, the salary is there for the person who was there. So we'll move with speed, if approved, to see the possibility of advertising for those positions. This is a way of motivating, especially when those who are serving in those offices do apply and succeed. I know of a case where somebody has acted since 2018, covering the duties of the sub-county administrator, and nothing has happened. So the salary is there. There is no reason. It's just a question of talking to the relevant officers, convincing the County Public Service Board to advertise those positions, and we fill them. Likewise to the missing positions of ward administrators. I retired in 2021, and up to now, as the member has suggested or has indicated, the position is still vacant. In Sigawet, Soin, we only have 2 ward administrators against 4. So you can imagine, and one of them is acting the sub-county administrator. So that is to say a shortfall of about 3. So I'll explore the possibilities of looking into these issues and addressing them accordingly to the satisfaction of all the concerned officers. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Okay, the National Vice Chair, Majority Whip, Honorable Byron. One observation or one question.
Thank you, Chairman. And allow me first to welcome the nominee for PSM. And I'd ask to inform you that Honorable Baron Rotich, representing good people of Seretut and the majority whip. Now, Chairman, I think there is this pertinent issue that we encountered in the previous financial year. Remember, Chairman, last financial year there was an issue with the sub-county administrators. Now that they are the chairman in alcoholic drinks and something, in every sub-county. And now that there was an issue that these people used to, we are told that they are been dishing out the licenses, because now they are chairing the sub-county alcoholic drinks and beverages. So now, remember, with the case of like an Amoy sub-county, we are told that in an Amoy, they were given the licenses belonging to Kipkemoi sub-county, or given licenses belonging to Sigawit, just not to evade, just to evade of the payments of the what do you call the revenue. So now, what advice can you go? What are these steps that probably or advice would you give to this committee now that you are going to be heading this docket on the issues of licenses and payments of revenue to our county? What advice would you give on the same?
Okay, you tie that with this one, Jonathan. As an assembly, we have received lots of complaints from persons living with disability. Should you be appointed as a CEC in charge of public service management, I don't know the plans that you have for this special category, given that they have been left out in very many opportunities since the inception of devolution. I don't know what is your take on that. Any honorable members, any other addition? Then we are taking that one. Oh yes, the honorable Peter Kipkemoi, the member for Kapsuses.
Thank you, Chair. Let me take also this opportunity to welcome the nominee, Mr. Korir. I have 2 or 3 concerns. One, it has been raised in channel of responding to the ward administrators. If you have a ward administrator who is representing a ward and also acting as a sub-county administrator, who is answering to who? Because the ward administrator should be answerable to the sub-county administrator, and then sub-county to the county administrator. Recently, I talked with the county administrator. In terms of facilitation, they have only 2 vehicles attached to them. And the 2 vehicles are centralized in the headquarters. How efficient it is if there is any emergency, for example, in a place like Kunya, the vehicle has to assist. Travel all the way from here to Kunya, and you had suggested that given this opportunity, you will have some plans to buy a vehicle every year. If you have to buy the vehicle for all the administrators, it will take us 30 years to meet, first of all, the ward administrators before the sub-county. For the sub-county, it will take you 6 years. What are other plans you have so that you see these administrators are well facilitated? Last, there was some advertisement on replacement for the staff who retired several years ago. I don't know what plans do you have, because there was some advertisements which was made early last year, or actually early last year, that is the end of 2023, which never took place. And those people who retired, they have their allocated budget. What are some of the plans? And you'll explain also if we have the wage pool and their salary where have they been allocating to? And what are some of the plans that you have now in order to see that all the retirees, their vacancies are replaced? Thank you, Chair.
Okay, one last one from Honorable Anthony Ruta.
Mr. Korir, Public Service Board is under your docket. And in several instances, departments make requests for recruitment. But the big challenge that the departments are facing when such requests are made, Public Service Board takes several years or several months without responding to those requests. For instance, in the Department of Education, there are several ECD centers that require replacements. Up to now, as we are speaking, nothing has been done by Public Service Board and several others. Even in the Department of Health, we had 500 interns in the Department of Health that was supposed to be promoted under PNB. They have done interviews, but up to date, the results have not been released. Mr. Korir, what measures are you going to put in place to make sure that when such requests are made, they are acted upon immediately? Thank you, Honorable Chair.
All right, Jonathan, you can now respond to that, and then we finalize.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, honorable members. On the question of sub-county administrator sitting as the chairman of the Alcoholic Drinks Committee and the messes which have been reported, I want to say it is unfortunate. It should not happen. If approved, I'll closely monitor, because it is easy to monitor. The 6 sub-counties is not a big area. It is easy to monitor and get to know what is going on. So there must have been some laxity somewhere where somebody didn't care, and even before that, immediately a case is reported, the affected or the involved sub-county administrators should be asked to explain how on earth you can issue a license reading Bureti in Ainamoi or in Kipkemoi, in the other sub-counties. So that one, if approved, I'll not hesitate to take action, because disciplinary procedure is there. They should even have been asked to explain why that anomaly. So that one, I want to say there was some laxity somewhere, having been, I don't have the tangible information, but should an investigation be done and we realize that somebody was trying to make money for his own gain, action should be taken. So if approved, I'll take action on that, Honorable Chair, honorable members. The issue of PWDs, we all know, as per the Constitution, these people should be taken care of in all aspects. So there is no doubt about it. In my department, should there be a situation where we realize they have been secluded, I'll not hesitate to initiate measures to bring them on board. We know they are supposed to be there. When it comes to recruitment, as Honorable Member has indicated, PSM, of course, works closely with Public Service Board. They need to be reminded, if they have forgotten, that once in a while they need to take care of this special group. On the issue of the ward administrator, acting sub-county administrator, we appreciate there is that problem because of the shortage which is there. As I had promised earlier on, if approved, I'll make sure we start by filling those positions. Unless there is a reason why that has not been happening, a convincing reason, I don't see why we should not fill those positions. The unfortunate bit of it is where you realize some of them were brought to our headquarters, to the departments. So they are still being reflected as ward administrators. So in this case, we could only be talking about those who have exited the county government, those who have retired. And these are the ones who have been brought on board. The issue should be regularized so that they are seen to be in headquarters and have exited the sub-county administrator, because I realize they are still being reflected as ward administrators. So I'll make a follow-up as to why they were brought to the headquarters, and whether if they're actually supposed to be there, then their redesignation should be effected and vacancy reflected on the other side. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Thank you so much, Judge. This has concern. I am informed that you have provided evidence of recognition and equation of qualification from Commission for University of Education, that is CUE, for Maradwa University, where you acquired your Masters of Arts. However, the Secretariat have noted that there is no evidence of the same for Punjab University, where you did your Bachelor of Arts. If you have anything or clarification in regards to that, then our officers, Abraham is there, and Sharon, Abraham is, and Sharon, so that you can confirm that. And if there is any document or whatever you are required to do, then you can submit it to the officers, maybe within the next 48 hours. So, Jonathan, we are very happy to have you this evening. Yes. About what?
He has not completed.
You have not completed. But I thought he said he has. Okay, fine. Maybe which one has he not responded to?
The issue of replacements of the retired staffs in the county.
Oh yeah, I guess that must be the reason why. But before you came in, I think he had tackled that issue of. I think you should have just mentioned that you had already responded. Actually, your question was very similar to the one for Ogony.
About the one public service board.
The one on the county public service. Look, just hold on. The Honorable Anthony Ruta. Other than that, the Honorable Peter Kipkemoi, he has clarified the other things, because we have answered and we have everything in regards to the question that you asked. He had actually responded to Ogony on that matter. So the one on the county public service board, have you responded to? County Public Service Board. There was a question by Honorable.
Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Yes.
Maybe I mentioned scantily, and I would repeat that I know they lie squarely with the Public Service Board, but Public Service Management. I'll sit down with them, understand the difficulties they are facing, in addressing those issues which the honorable member has addressed, where, because you realize, I want to believe they have been inactive for quite some times. We've also been following from outside, especially on adverts, which was supposed to have been handled long time ago. We have local dispensaries, which was supposed to be operationalized in our areas, and that recruitment has not taken place. Yet there had been some adverts, and I think later on it was cancelled. So I want to promise that if approved, I'll sit down with them, get to know the reason, because there must have been a budget when they went ahead and advertised in the first place. So the same thing with the issue which had been raised also. What is important is sitting down with the relevant officers. Things will start moving. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Okay, thank you, Jonathan. Mheshimiwa, you are satisfied? All right. So thank you so much, Jonathan, for being with us this evening. We don't take it for granted. We appreciate the interaction that we have had. From here, the committee shall retreat and go and establish whether you are suitable for the position, and then we will table before the floor of the House for final approval. But I'll give you a minute. If you have anything that you want to tell us or share with us, with this committee, before we conclude. So over to you, Jonathan.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I will repeat by thanking you for giving me the opportunity. I also don't take it for granted. I thank you so much for the reception, the hospitality. I want to say I was comfortable, and pray that you look into it, give me the position. We all want to see the level of this county going up. So I'll bring in the necessary skills from the corporate world to make sure things are working, and especially where we need improvement like human resource. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Jonathan, for that. Our assurance is that this committee is a very objective committee, and I know when they will have time to scrutinize and come up with their report, you expect a very objective report. Nevertheless, we still congratulate you for for being nominated to be the CEC, and we also wish you the very best as you wait for the final verdict. Otherwise, thank you so much. I'll ask our sergeant at arms to escort you, and our person in charge of welfare to ensure that you are served with tea so that you can have enough energy as you go back to Soliat now that you don't have a vehicle. I will also ask our office to ensure that the CC nominee gets a taxi to be paid by the County Assembly of Kericho. Ensure that Abraham, ensure that he got a taxi, be taken until his place safely. Or if you have our vehicle there, just make necessary transport arrangements to ensure that the CC nominee gets home safe as we continue to pray, as we do our work. Otherwise, we appreciate. Thank you so much, Jonathan. God bless you. Say hi.
Thank you. Thank you.
Asante. So, honorable members, we have come close to today's vetting of the nominees. We had discussion over lunch hour that probably tomorrow morning we are starting at 8 in the morning, and we are expecting the nominee in charge of lands, housing and urban settlement. That is one Joseph Korir, if I'm not wrong. We want, God willing, by 12 noon, we should be through with the vetting exercise, because I'm being informed that some of our honorable members are very busy tomorrow and they have other engagements to do. For instance, the Honorable Anthony Ruta has serious engagements starting right now. So we'll discuss that outside this and see what we can do. Thank you so much for your commitment. Thank you, honorable members. Thank you, staff. Thank you, our chief whip. You have been with us from morning. Thank you, Mheshimiwa Diplo, for joining us. We also don't take it for granted. Thank you for the insight and even the input that you have that you have done or you have given to us as we vet these nominees. So asanteni sana. Mwenyezi Mungu awabariki until tomorrow morning. So the meeting is adjourned until 8 a.m. tomorrow, and I'll request that we keep time and the secretariat to ensure that everything is in order before that time, so that we'll just come straight and proceed with the vetting of the next nominee. Thank you.